All right, welcome back, fellow escapees. Welcome back to my channel. This is where I help burnt out corporate employees ditch their boring 9 to 5 and create financial freedom. So if that sounds like content that you would like to learn about, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and join the escapee movement. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 10 habits that are keeping a lot of people broke. These 10 habits, once I go over them and show them how much it's really costing you, you are probably going to be shocked, but you're also going to be wondering why you don't have an extra $150,000 to $500,000 in your investment portfolios right now, which would be enough money for you to start that escapee plan. So let's get into it. So one of the number one things I have identified, which is causing some of my clients to not be able to achieve financial independence, is their vehicle. Now, vehicles are not lasting us as long as they used to. A lot of people in our generation are going through about anywhere from 4 to 7 vehicles in their lifetime. And when you look at the average cost of a vehicle today being around $30,000 to $40,000, and that does not even include a luxury car, you can see how a lot of American people's wealth are being depleted and taken away by these vehicles. So vehicles, not only do a lot of people finance their vehicle, they also have expenses like insurance and gas and maintenance and high interest rates on car loans. So when you tally that up, most people are spending anywhere between $10,000 to about $16,000 a year on their vehicles. Now that's just for, like I said, a little bit lower end vehicle. We're not talking about the luxury vehicle. So, just add in what a luxury vehicle costs and adjust those numbers, and you'll come up with how much your luxury vehicle is costing you if you have a luxury vehicle. Now I decided to put $15,000 a year into an investment calculator, and just to get an idea, how much would you guys have if, instead of financing a car for 7 years, which is the typical car loan these days, is between 5 and 7 years. Instead of financing a car for 7 years, if you put that same $15,000 away in a stock fund, and the stock fund was returning about 12% interest, how much would you guys have? So this is the number I came up with. You'll have $170,000. So that means you would have around $10,000 or $12,000 in passive income being generated from that portfolio if you were to have that money put away in a stock portfolio. So you would actually have almost enough money to go and pay for that car, and you would never have to touch your stock portfolio's principal balance. So most people are doing it backwards, in the opposite way. They're going off financing debt first instead of doing it the other way and building out their portfolio first, and then using that money from that portfolio, the dividends and interest you're receiving off of that. Instead of using that money to go buy their car, they're doing it backwards, and they're going to get the debt first. So then they're never in a position to have money in the bank to pay for their lifestyle and their expenses. So they're always constantly in debt and buying cars on credit. So that keeps you in a cycle and keeps your children in a cycle if you do things this way. Now, there is a famous guy, we all know him. His name is Albert Einstein, and he said that compound interest was one of the 8 wonders of the world. So what he's basically saying is, if you let your money compound and sit for a little while, it'll grow to enough money where you can start paying for your living expenses, and you never have to borrow money from anyone else again. You'll be making money off of your own money instead of giving people money and interest and borrowing from them. Now, that's just 7 years. If we were to do this for about 15 years, assuming that you got 2 cars in that same time frame, you are looking at $626,000. Now, I don't know about you guys, but $626,000 is a lot of money, and you can definitely do some serious damage if you have that kind of money saved. Well, number one, you can probably go ahead and declare you're financially free. All your basic necessities and bills would definitely be covered under that, and you'll definitely have some more money left over to have a little fun and enjoy life. with a $620 and a $20 to $30,000 portfolio, you'll definitely be receiving around $40,000 to $50,000 a year in passive income, and you never have to touch the principal balance of that $630,000. So that just goes to show you that those two cars are actually costing you $500,000. All right, so number one, the second one is a lot of our guilty pleasures. I'm guilty of this one as well, and it's eating out. Now, they invented this thing called Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. Those are the enemies to most of our, American households right now, because you can order almost anything you want, almost depending on how late your city's open till. You can get food almost till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And if you live in a city like Vegas or New York, you could probably get food 24 hours a day. And so these companies have figured it out. They figured out that nobody hardly likes to cook anymore, and everyone loves Chinese food and sushi and pizza and burgers and pasta whenever they want to have it, and they like food on demand. Therefore, they are going to spend all their hard-earned working dollars to be able to have food delivered straight to their door. So Uber Eats and Grubhub, DoorDash has been a major budget killer in this country. Every family, whether they're affluent or working class, have all said that that is one of the major expenses that they have that is slowly pulling money out of their bank account. And when they go back and look, I think one celebrity said their son ordered $100,000 in food in 1 year. I can't remember that video or what celebrity kid that was, but they couldn't believe their son ordered that much food in 1 year. And I think the son was only like 12 or 15. So you got little kids ordering $100,000 worth of takeout, because at first it's like it looks like it's a $20, $30, $40 bill, but every day, 2 to 3 times a day over a year, you can see how that can add up. So be careful with especially the kids, because they're so used to everything being on demand for them. They're not used to having to wait for stuff or go pick up stuff like we had to do when we were growing up. So the kids don't understand. They just think they press a button and it just comes right to their door, and it's just so easy and convenient for them. So they love to order out. They're really bad with that. The kids are really bad with that. I think the adults are a little bit better, but the kids, it seems like I see more and more kids ordering fast food than ever before. I remember going out to eat was something you did on Sundays or a special occasion in our country. Now it's like a 3 times a day occurrence in most family household, and that is per family member. So unless your child is probably under the age of 15 or 16, most even teenagers are at McDonald's after school. I see them at the Starbucks, and I'm wondering, where are all these kids getting all this money from to be here all the time? And I do a lot of work from Starbucks as far as, I used to. I don't go there that much anymore, but I do a lot of work. I used to sit there and do my work, and for the last 10 years, because I've been self-employed. So I would do my work there, and I'll be like seeing these same kids kind of getting out of school around the same time, and they're buying those $5, $10, $15 drinks with the cake pops and the donuts and whatever else they wanted there, the pastries. I'm like, where do these kids get this kind of money? They can be here almost 5 days a week. Because I would recognize some of the kids as I would be there. And so eating out has really affected a lot of people's budget, and it has stopped a lot of people from being able to achieve financial independence. Now, based off of the numbers I gave you of roughly what people are paying to go out to eat, I put roughly about $7,500 a year. It could be more than this, but like I said, I'm just going to give a rough number just by some data I've accumulated. So in 12 years, that will be about $202,000 that you're possibly missing out on in your portfolio, all because you want to eat out, 5 or 6, 7 days a week using these services. Now that would be the number I used was $7,500 a year. So that I guess roughly around $500-$600 a month, somewhere in that range. And that's not including the food that people buy when they go grocery shopping. So a lot of people reported that they also have food at home. So they also went grocery shopping for anywhere from $400, $500 a month in grocery shopping bill, plus they're going out to eat. So yeah, just want to make you aware of where some of your money is going, and maybe why you don't have your portfolio right now is because you are eating it all away. You're eating away all your money. All right, debt. So there's this famous guy named Albert Einstein. I think I said this before. And he said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So a lot of people are used to getting an item on debt or credit, on their credit cards or on a car loan or on a furniture store loan or whatever loan, they get payday loans. They're used to getting that credit. And then on that credit is attached an interest rate. So you are giving, instead of it compounding and you're getting money back, the eighth wonder of the world, you're actually, somebody else has figured out to get you to be the sucker so you can be in debt. And then they're going to collect that eighth wonder of the world called compound interest. And when they do that enough times, they become the wealthy people and you become the poor person. So debt on and interest on debt is actually taking away all your future earnings, because all your checks until that debt is paid off, whether it's a 30-year mortgage, a 5 to 7 year car loan, a credit, a 15, 18, 23% credit card, all your checks from the next usually 6 months to 30 years are going towards paying off that debt. So you want to do your best to be debt free as best as you can, because I do know that in my mentorship program, we do talk about using some leverage in debt if you're buying a business, or if you are buying some real estate, then you may need to use a little interest of debt. But for the common items like food, clothes, furniture, cell phones, things like that, people are out here financing payday loans. Those items you want to not pay interest on if you can help it, or pay it off as fast as you can. And I mean fast, I mean under 1 year. Pay it off as fast as you can and stop giving other people all your hard-earned working money. The other habit that keeps people broke are jobs. And I don't mean high-paying six-figure jobs. I don't mean if you're a doctor, lawyer making good money, or engineer kind of jobs. I mean low-paying jobs. If you're in a low-paying jobs, $9, $12 an hour jobs, $15 an hour jobs could be considered low-paying jobs in today's economy. If you don't have a skill set to get a better paying job, you need to go out and get a skill set to get a better paying job. There's no reason you need to get up, leave your house. I mean, of course, unless you can't find another job. Of course, we know that's going on right now as I'm making this video. A lot of my channel talks about people who have been laid off and fired. If you can't find a job, of course, you take the job that you can find. But what I mean is you don't stay in a job that's not paying you what you're worth. And if you know that there's another company that's going to give you a higher salary, if you're able to leave the current company and go to the company that's giving you that better salary, because when you get that better salary, it's going to accelerate your investments and your growth. So bad jobs are keeping you broke. All right, the slow leaks. Slow leaks are kind of like what I was talking about with Uber Eats and things like that. There are companies that slowly take $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $100, $500, whatever it is. They slowly take money out of your bank account. It doesn't look like as much at first, so you don't pay much attention to it. Subscription services, all these apps they want you to download, they want you to pay, just things like that. Internet and cable and things like that. It's slow leaks. So if you can tally up about 100, slow leaks, when I help my clients, I figure sometimes it's anywhere from $1,200 a year to $5,000 a year of slow leaks. It just all depends. So we're just going to use, for simple math, I'm just going to do $2,500 a year. So $2,500 a year, in 12 years you'll have $67,000. So you're missing out on $67,000 so you can enjoy your slow leaks, whatever that may be for you. Toys kids don't use. I did not realize this was a big deal until you start talking to clients who talk about all the money they're spending on their kids. Now, of course, we love our kids. We want kids to have the best. But at the same time, kids, especially when they're under the age of I would say 6 or 7 years old, you'll go to some of these people's houses and their kids' rooms are covered in toys. The kids cannot play with that many toys. And also, if you really pay attention to them, they will play with a toy for a little while and then they will never play with that toy again. So the toys Sometimes you'll buy them toys and then they grow up a little bit. Maybe they went from 1 year old to 3 years old, 5 years old, whatever. And you realize you bought them these toys for their birthday or for the holiday, Christmas, and then they don't play with these toys. So you wasted a lot of money on toys. So some parents are saying it's better to get, when they're under a certain age, just get them used toys. If you find some good used toys, or just limit the amount of toys they have. Well, number one, it's going to keep their playroom clean, because we've all seen toy playrooms, right? But number two, a lot of people are spending a lot of money on stuff for kids, and kids they don't really use it, or they grow out of it. And just be very careful giving them all this stuff, because they are just consumed with stuff that they don't even want or use. And to be honest, I don't know about all the kids in the world, but I know for me, growing up as a kid, we love to play outside. So a lot of kids can do stuff for free at the park. They love to play football. They love to play kickball. We love kickball growing up as a kid. Jump rope and stuff like that. So there's a lot of free things kids can do, and they love to, the water gun, the super soaker water guns. I remember we would fill balloons up with water and throw them at each other. There's a lot of things that kids can do. Ride their bikes. There's a lot of things they can do that will probably cut down on some of the cost of a lot of this consumerism for kids and unused items. Another thing that's keeping people broke and in debt is social media. Because with social media, if you're not very careful, you're scrolling all day long, but you're also being bombarded with so many advertisements to tell you you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not good enough. Is this going wrong in your relationship? Is this going wrong in your marriage? Is this going wrong in your household? Is this going wrong with your car? Is this going wrong with your health? Do you need this pill? You're always being bombarded with some type of advertisement. The worst advertisements of all the advertisements is the food advertisements, because they'll really get you on those food commercials. That's how they get you. That's how they get you to order Uber Eats, and DoorDash, because they get you on those food commercials. But you gotta be careful how much time you're spending on social media, and how much time you're looking at how other people are out here living their lives and not working on yourself and your own life and your own family. Social media is fake. It's just for fun. It's for entertainment. Be very careful with it, and teach your children to be very careful with social media. Number 9 is alcohol. I don't even know if I numbered the rest of them. I just started talking about the rest of them. I forgot to tell y'all what number we were on. But number 9 is clubs. So a lot of people go to a lot of clubs and bars, and you'll be very, very, very disturbed if I showed you the number of how the average person goes out on a weekend, and they're spending about anywhere from $200 to $400, $500 a week going out drinking. And what is causing it is not that they're going out just drinking by themselves, but sometimes when they're paying for friends, they're paying for rounds at the bar, or they just got so drunk they don't even remember how much they tipped and paid. They're paying valet. They're paying to get the $20 to $50 club fees to get in through the door at some of these clubs, the bars, the alcohol. Now, you go to some places, alcohol can be anywhere from, on average, $10 a drink these days at some places. $10, $15 martinis, plus the tip. You have a couple of those. You're hanging out with your girlfriends, your homeboys, whatever, and you are out of anywhere from $150 to $400 in a weekend, and you're doing that at least minimum 3 weeks out of a month. Some people are doing it 4 weeks out of a month. When I did the calculation on what clients are spending as well as average statistics, you are actually missing out on about anywhere from $150,000 to almost $500,000 a year, depending on, like I said, how much you're spending and how often you're going out. So be very careful with this club life and the party life, and just be very careful with that stuff. I mean, it is really costing you your future, and it's really costing you retirement. And I definitely think you need to go out and have some fun with your friends, definitely, because if you don't, you're going to get very depressed if you don't have some kind of social life, especially if you're extrovert. And the introverts, you guys, y'all don't need a lot of social time with people. I think y'all like to limit y'all out, going out too much. But I don't think you should stay in a house and wither away. I think you need to go out and enjoy life, and get out there and do some hobbies and activities. But you got to be really careful of how much that is costing you over the long run. So actually number 9 and 10 are almost the same, because clubs, and then number 10 was alcohol, and alcohol is really affecting people's ability to create financial freedom. But what another thing alcohol does is, not only does it destroy your liver, it starts to deteriorate the brain. It has ongoing effects. It sits in your body almost up to 6 months. It's not that alcohol like you're just drunk or for that weekend. It also affects how you feel the following days, and so that causes you to also spend money or not really care about your money even after you're sober. Because sometimes you'll go, I tell people it's kind of like a foggy state, because a lot of people who get off alcohol, they said their brain clears up, almost like their thinking clears up. So it's almost like it affects your thinking. Like, okay, you might be like, go drink it for the weekend, and then like, let's just say come Tuesday or Wednesday, you might be like, well, I'm gonna order Uber Eats. Let's just say, oh, it's just $50 to $100, whatever. I don't know the price you spend on Uber Eats, because it might be a family of you guys, 4 or 5 of y'all. It might just be you by yourself spending $30-$40. But it's almost like you don't care. It makes you get into the state where in your brain where you don't function properly, even though you're supposed to be considered sober legally to drive and to do stuff. But it's almost like it creates some kind of fog on your brain where you start spending in other areas of your life as well. I noticed that too. So these are 10 habits that keep most people broke. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if y'all have any of these habits, y'all can start working on them now, because in order to create a financial independence, you have to get your budget in order. You have to get your life and your finances in order. If you try to retire early, even if you make it to a $600 or $1 million portfolio or $2 million portfolio, if you don't get this under control, what you're going to do is end up blowing through that money and having to return back to work in later on in your life. So you got to get your spending and your habits in check. You got to get, if you're drinking, drugs, if you're doing gambling, pornography, strip clubs, all that stuff is, taking you out of your spiritual element, and you'll find yourself going down kind of like that rabbit hole of destruction if you do not get it under control and get your spending under control. So if you never get your spending under control, whether you're trying to become financially free in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, if you never get under control, even if somebody gave you $1 million or you retired in your 60s or 70s, you'll just be left with hardly nothing, because you never worked on your habits, the habits that are keeping you broke. So guys, I have a free webinar. Make sure you check out that free webinar. I also offer mentorship. If you need additional help with creating your escape plan, make sure you hit that notification bell. It's going to alert you when I drop weekly videos. And join the escapee movement by subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.